Good day, Dr. Miller.
Good day to you too.
Thank you for coming. I will ask you a couple of questions regarding the HR. What is the main challenge facing HR over the next 5 years?
Well, without any doubt, HR has got to become a business partner. I think the days of HR sitting on the fence and doing administrative type work are truly gone. What all businesses, this is public and private sector, are looking for is an HR function that can really add value. So the challenges for HR is they need to wake up, they need to be more business focused, and they need to be a partner with the business. Either in the public or private sector, it doesn't really matter.
And what are the global trends changing HR if we are talking about the CIS countries, I mean Kazakhstan, Russia, Ukraine, Georgia, ex-Soviet Union countries?
Yes. I don't think there's any real difference. I think the focus is it's all about being efficient and it's all about showing profitability. Now, that might seem strange to somebody who's, say, in the private sector or public sector, but the same things apply. We're all looking for value for money. And I think the issue, as we've seen very recently, is we are truly in a global economy. So if something happens in one part of the world, it does affect us all. So HR really has got, I think it's a golden opportunity, the opportunity to step up to the plate, the opportunity to become a true partner with the business.
Your last book is about latest techniques in workforce planning. What new tools and techniques in your book can you recommend to implement within the HR departments of CIS companies, I mean companies from Kazakhstan, Russia?
Right. Well, the interesting thing I think is that many of the formulas that we use in HR don't actually work. And this is a bit of a shock, but we use lots of formulas that have come from America that were invented in the 40s and 50s, and they were written by academics, and they don't actually work. So we often give the business information, and the information we're giving the business isn't correct. So what we've done, certainly in the last 2 or 3 years, we have redesigned a number of mathematical formulas that HR should be using. We've got new tools for HR to use so they can show their value. In fact, it's completely different. I think if you were to look at what's available now, it's really, really quite interesting and challenging. So I think one of the issues HR is going to have to get to grips with is going to have to be much more mathematically focused.
In terms of trends, what can you name, please, the 5, let's say 5 or more HR trends we will see in this year and next year?
5, right. Well, that's a nice challenge. 5 trends. Well, the first is differentiation. Differentiation is paying people for what they do rather than treating everybody the same. And I think that really is a big global trend. So getting to grips with differentiation and particularly paying talented people completely differently to anybody else. Being able to right-size the organisation, even if it's not done, but being able to do the mathematics and the calculations so you can say to the people who run the organisation, this is how many people we actually need. Now, in a downturn, this is how many we would need. In an upturn, this is how many we would need. So that's really, really important. We've really got the tools to do that and the software to do that now. Without doubt, recruitment is a massive, massive problem. And I'm afraid many HR departments and functions are guilty of outsourcing this or not doing it properly. And I think in my work as a consultant, one of the biggest issues I have is sorting out other people's mess, and it's usually caused by bad recruitment. So that's an HR issue that really has to be addressed. If HR is to look professional, then it must be able to sort out, manage, and be an expert in its own processes. So recruitment is one. The other one, which is a favourite of mine, is the shambles that we call performance appraisal. I mean, it is so expensive to do. It's one of the biggest processes that HR operates. Nobody likes it. Nobody makes a good job of it. And it costs the organisation a fortune every year. Now, it just needs refocusing. It doesn't need a lot of work doing to it. But by refocusing performance appraisal, then I think HR will be taken a lot more seriously. And the last one, the number 5, is really that HR has got to consider itself as a profit or value centre. Now, this doesn't mean sending bills out to the rest of the organisation, but it does mean being able to show every year in financial terms what value HR has created for the business. And that's probably the biggest and the most difficult challenge for HR to do in the coming years.
In terms of skills, future skills that are most important for the future of HR, as well as areas of improvement of companies, can you name some of them?
Yeah, the big areas are, I think, being business focused. HR have in the past been in a little bubble called HR, and although they talk the talk, they don't.
Explain what the bubble is.
Well, yeah, the bubble is they like to be very independent from the business and say, oh, we are HR, when really they're part of the business. So they've got to come out of this bit of bubble and they've got to get their hands dirty in the business. You know, no matter what sort of business they are, they need to get out in the business, talk business talk, and produce business results. And I think for many HR people, I don't think they're going to be able to do it. I think it's just one step too far for them. So we're going to see a new generation, if you like, of HR people. And I think probably some of the best HR people in the future are going to be people who have come from the business, people who actually understand the business and can put an HR spin on it.
Right. So it's like one point of a bubble, but maybe can you name any other skills that will be important?
Yes, certainly. I think HR has got to master all of the skills that a consultant has. So, you know, when HR goes and talks to the business, operations, engineering, finance, administration, they do have something to offer. So when they go along, they are like a professional consultant. Then they can come away from that meeting and say, okay, how can I add value? How can I help? And I think the other thing that HR's got to stop doing is getting in the way of the manager. The manager's job is to manage the staff. It's not HR's job. The manager's job is to deal with discipline. It's not HR's job. And the manager's job, and that's what we pay them for, is to produce higher productivity. It's not HR's job. HR's job in the future is going to be to give the managers the tools to make that happen. And HR can't do that unless it can master the business processes.
Thank you for your time and for your answers.
Thank you very much indeed. Been very enjoyable. Thank you.